So I'm on my way right now to a property that we are in the process of purchasing. We have an agreement. Basically all that's being done now is some of the properties being split off. So that work's being done by a surveyor. Still have to go through the town approvals and whatnot for that, but there's no issues. We already spoke with the town and everything. So there's really nothing holding it up. And I'm just going to kind of do a sort of a walkthrough video today. To sort of show out the property. This is actually up on the left here. There's a car behind us, so we're just going to keep driving and then turn around. But this is the view right now of the beginning of the property, and a couple hundred feet over to about here. So as soon as we get up here, we're going to turn around, let this person around us, so we're not holding them up. This is actually the entrance to the owner's I guess business that's back here. So we're purchasing the north side of the property, which is where the camera's pointed right now. We purchased 5 acres. So this lot that they own is actually 50 acres, and it really is a beautiful spot. You know, the portion that the owner will remain to own is it's really nice area. They definitely have a great spot. Which kind of just attracted me to this area, and I sort of approached them and just to see if they would be interested in selling some, and they were. So it's worked out for both of us. You know, we settled on a price that we are comfortable with. You know, not necessarily happy, because land has become very expensive in this area, but you know, I'm thrilled for the future that it's going to bring, and you know, we'll put a house on here and continue our projects. And obviously there will be tons of videos on all the projects we do here in the coming spring. So this is where we will park for now, and I could sort of do a little bit of explaining of what I have in store here. All right, so here we are in the northwest corner of the property. Basically here's the road line. Park the truck right up here. There's quite a bit of hill here. I don't know if you could tell from the camera, but my original thought was to put a driveway right here. Unfortunately, the town has a sort of drainage ditch and system that's here, so we can't get around that. There's one also up there, and what that does is drains any of the water runoff from the fields across the street and the road, and it actually dumps it into this drainage ditch that they dug, which is right here. So although I was thinking about putting a driveway there, which would be convenient because that would be a straight shot down this pathway, unfortunately that's not going to work. I asked the town if they would be able to put in like a riser for that cover, so that we could still put the driveway there. I'm gonna still kind of chat with them about it. But the other thing actually would be, I'd probably have to get rid of this tree, which I don't want to do. I mean, I want to keep as many trees as possible, and that looks, it's a very big old tree, so it's kind of cool. Definitely want to get rid of that if we don't need to. So the only other thought would be, in order to get around all the drainage issues, I'd have to come to about here or so. Which would be a lot less of a drop from the road too. It wouldn't take much at all to just clean this up with the skid steer and you know, begin to build the driveway. So this is, not sure exactly how many feet. The agreement we've made is that I'm purchasing 5 acres, starting from the very left side here all the way back to a creek that we'll walk back to as well, and then however many feet that is, we're going to go this direction heading south until it makes up 5 acres. So I think it's around 250 feet, something like that, considering how long the property is. But that's good enough for me. I mean, that's plenty of road footage. We will own some of this field as well, which the owner currently leases to some farmers. I don't know how much will be left of mine, and I don't know if that'll be an option that they would want to continue to lease it. But what I do plan on doing as soon as we get this in the spring is buying some white pines from pine trees, basically seedlings from the DEC, They're really cheap, and I'll get a couple hundred of them at least and just kind of go along this entire property length just to sort of show my division of the property, as well as kind of plan for any future development or anything that might happen here to give us a little more privacy. So I mean, this place is beautiful. It's huge. 50 acres. This is, I think, 25 acres, this front area. And then behind the wood line back there is another 25 that the owner currently owns. So let's just take a walk back here. It's kind of cool because this has sort of a wood line in the middle of the property, which I definitely would keep. It's just kind of a unique feature. And obviously, the more trees I can have, the better for me. I really was looking for a fully wooded lot. And there's, to stay in the school district that we wanted to for our kids, there's really not many options. So there's a lot of deer droppings around here, which is really cool. I'm sure there's a lot of wildlife around here. And what's nice is it's not far from anything, but as soon as you go past a couple neighborhoods, you're heading this direction, it just turns into farm fields and whatnot, and it's really an awesome place. So let's just walk back and see what we got here. Here's this drainage ditch. It goes pretty far. It actually goes all the way from there to the back of the property to another one this then tees into. So this would be where our driveway is going to go. I'm actually liking how it's pitched currently, because the drainage will just pretty much end up right, any of the runoff will go right into this drainage ditch. When I spoke with the town, they actually said having this drainage ditch is a really great thing, because I could run my gutters into it. You know, I'll obviously not have any issues with drainage here because it's there. Let's see, I guess there was an old drainage ditch beyond this one, and it had grown in completely into these woods. And when the town decided to come through, or build this one years ago, there was no way they were going to clean that one up. There's just too much, so they ended up digging this one, and they actually maintain it all. And they're going to be actually coming within the next few months to sort of clean it out. And I know they told me that they drop everything right here, and then if they need me to, which I will have them most likely do, is grade it out so that I'm not left to deal with it myself. But yeah, I mean, this is the third time I've been here actually, so I'm really here to take a really good look at just planning ahead. I see that, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but there's a pretty good dip here, and as I said, the driveway will be right here. But I wonder, likely what I'll do is put in a culvert, because it's, I don't think you could tell. Let me see if I can get the camera down. You can tell. No, probably not, but pretty good dip there. It's probably 1.5 feet, 2 feet. Yeah, it's probably about 2 foot drop. And it looks like it may actually drain some water from that field over there, allowing it to run through. So I'll probably just put culvert pipe right there for when we put the driveway in. More drainage and I could do to this property and not have issues with water, the better. So the house that we plan to eventually build will be right in this area where this wood line. So this wood line is probably, let's see if we can come around front and see. It's probably about 25, 30, it's almost like 40 feet wide. Like I said, it's kind of a cool feature. Just, I like the fact that it's there, and it'll make our driveway real private as you're coming down. It's kind of just a cool sensation of driving down a tight wooded lot like that. And this is pretty much right where the house will be. So I will end up doing a video on the plans that I have for that house and how I plan to have it set up, and pretty much I'll do like a Google Earth layout so you can see how it'll end up sitting here. Yeah, so this drainage ditch, again, I don't know if you can tell, but it's pretty deep. It's probably about 12 foot deep right there. Then we turn into, actually, we own some woods as well. So again, I'm not going to get rid of any of these trees if I don't need to. If that house could sit perfectly right there in that opening, I'm actually really liking how everything's graded as well. That's going to really keep our drainage situation really good, as well as putting in a septic system. Obviously this area has been farmed on for many years and the soil is probably very nice. We'll probably have to just clean up some of this brush here, but again, keeping all the trees, and the view from the main parts of the home will be towards this ditch here, which will be, you know, looking into these trees, and then the other part will be looking into those woods. And then I'll put the garage and stuff like up front in case there is any other development or anything that happens, that we still have our privacy. And actually, now that I'm looking, I see in the woods here some culvert pipe, which would come in really handy if it's long enough. So that's kind of neat. I'll put that to use. That's very durable stuff too. That's definitely thick steel. So that almost looks like it'll be the perfect length for that ditch area we were talking about with the driveway. That's kind of funny. I wonder if where that came from, because I don't see any other pipes at all back in this for any of this ditch, and even up there, all up front, from what I saw, it was mostly plastic, but possibly, I mean, either way, looks like it's mine now. So yeah, you can see a lot of these trees have fallen down over this. This is a lot of stuff that the town wants to come and clean up, which will be nice because that'll all be done. So yeah, there's a lot of woods here. It's probably at least an acre or more of woods. Let's walk back here. I'm actually just trying to follow this drainage ditch to the back, which will be where the other ditch tees into it, and that's going to be our property division. So I'm not sure if I'll own part of this other ditch in the back here, or if we'll cut short before it, but there's actually some fields through these. They're pretty remote out here. I mean, there's not much here. So it obviously dips down here. There's some water and some snow that's kind of accumulated from the melt off recently. So, but that's far enough back I don't have to worry about any low wet spots back here. Doesn't hurt me at all for building. And here it looks like we're coming upon this ditch, and it looks like they have, let's see what they, oh, there is a, yeah, so there is a culvert pipe here, but that is plastic. So it's definitely not where those other pipes came from, but they put in a ditch here. I don't know why they didn't just dig it through, maybe just to be able to have access to this other property over here, but that pipe tees into this ditch, and there's a plastic pipe sticking out there. So it's about a 30-foot tunnel pipe that's going, which drops into this one. So I really like it back here. I think it's super private. It just, the feeling you get of a spot like this is just really cool. It's I could definitely see setting up a little campfire spot back here and some chairs and just relaxing, man. It's definitely a really unique spot, and I love the fact that this has water in it. And when I was here during the summer, it actually had water in it, because these drainage ditches sometimes are just here for field runoff, and they don't, most of the time of the year they're actually just bone dry, but this large one in the back seemed to have water in it all the time. It's not very deep, and right now it's been melting the past few days, all the snow, so you know, it might have as much water as it'll ever see, but I believe in the summer it actually had about the same amount. Oh great, I'm covered in all these. That's terrific. Let me get out of here. All right, so you know, spend 3 hours picking these all off, but that's it. That's pretty much, I guess we could walk this way into, I'm not sure how far over this property will be as far as what I'll own, but like I said, at least maybe 200, 225, 250 feet. We'll find out soon. The surveyor actually has the order to now begin all the paperwork with the town, and then coming back here and actually marking out everything, and I'm going to have him mark out the line along the property edge, not the side of the ditch, but the one that the current owner will still own, just so I could have a division line and know where to plant my trees. And kind of a lot of trees down here, so maybe I'll walk back up and get into that. Actually, we'll just cut through here. Let's see. A lot of down trees back here. They're just completely uprooted themselves. I'm not sure if those were just blown over. They're pretty large trees, and they're just completely tipped over and roots ripped out of them. Alright, so let's see if I could get to this open field here. Alright, we made it. So yeah, I'm actually going to own some of this as well. This sort of tree line kind of tees out, going perpendicular with the road, halfway back through the property. I'm not sure why that would have been done, and why all these years of farming they didn't take that out, take those trees down, because they obviously did most other places. But I can't imagine anything would be buried in there that they didn't want to mess with. But this is another part of what I'll own. I don't know if I should walk back this way. See if we could cut through this tree line. There's a little opening in here. You see. Oh, you know what? This actually looks like it was possibly a drainage ditch as well at some point. It's dropped down pretty far here. I mean, maybe just a foot or two, but it does follow direction back to that other larger ditch. So I wonder if that's why that tree line is here. That was probably the drainage for all of these fields. Oh, I got these stuck all over me. Alright, I'm just going to cut right through these woods. See if I can find anything else hiding in these trees. There's a good score on those culvert pipes. That will definitely come in handy. I'm actually pretty happy about that. And what's the chance of that? So this is that low area back here. And a lot of downed trees. Maybe one day we'll clean some of this up. Unless we could get over here and get the machine over here. Once we get the skid steer over here in the spring, we'll definitely do. I mean, there's not much to do, and as far as for prep for the foundation or anything for the house, but you know, anything we could do to just clean up a little bit more. And the only spot that I think has been really messed with is in sort of some, it's right where I'm actually coming upon those culvert pipes again right here. So just from the backside, since we walked around. But basically that spot just looks like where they might, when they were digging the ditch out, they probably stacked up some of the tree limbs and stuff like that, and they sort of pushed it into the woods. And now that everything's dead for the winter, you know, I can get a good view of it, and probably push those pipes in there, stacked a bunch of brush on it. So we'll probably just pull that stuff up, cut it out, or cut up with the wood, and just to clean this brush spot up, because you can tell it's definitely just brush that's been pushed in there. All right, so that is pretty much the quick view of the 5-acre lot, and I'm very happy, very excited. You know, I'm really looking forward to springtime, getting the skid steer over here, and just having some fun. And the plan will pretty much be just to do some cleanup and get a driveway in, at least back to this area, so we will be able to get trucks in and out. But other than that, I mean, you know, we might not put this house up anytime soon, and maybe not till not this upcoming spring, but the following spring, just for reasons of, you know, making sure everything's planned out correctly. I've built, you know, a few other builds before, and one thing I don't want to do with this third house, you know, is rush anything. I mean, as I continue building, you keep learning more and more, and there's always things that I would have liked to add or think about a little bit further. This home is probably not going to be my forever home. I keep saying that about every house I build, and then you know, you just sort of, I always need a project, I always need something, but this is definitely going to be a spot that we're going to enjoy and be here a while. So I really want this house to be you know, really thought out and planned out, and really what we want. And we want our kids to be able to, you know, spend a bunch of their years here and really enjoy this area. So we look forward to that, and you know, just keep looking out for any videos we show. And the next one here at this property will probably be in the springtime when we get the skid steer over here, and we'll make a bunch of videos of putting the driveway in. And that's pretty much it. Go ahead and like, and please subscribe if you haven't yet. A lot of cool videos coming up, and we'll see you guys soon.